The top 5 MMA fighters who started MMA in their 20s. My uncle always told me, Paul, it's never too late to give up on your dreams. You can do anything you want in this world, regardless of age. Except wake up feeling amazing after a night of drinking. That only happens in your early 20s. But speaking of early 20s, today we'll explore the stories of 5 UFC fighters who started their martial arts journeys late, some even in their late 20s, but against all odds still reached the pinnacle of the sport. Kicking off the list at number 5, we have Jared the Killer Gorilla Cannonier. Jared spent most of his 20s serving in the US Army as an air traffic control mechanic. He became an expert on everything from radars to navigation systems. The man could get a plane on the runway, but couldn't get his ass in the gym. Cannonier gained a considerable amount of weight while enlisted. Some said his cholesterol rose higher than the state he lived in, Alaska. However, displeased with his physical health, Cannonier took up MMA in his 20s just to stay in shape. At 27, he made his professional debut, and after only 6 fights, Jared was signed to the UFC as a thick heavyweight. He would then cut down to 205 until reaching his final form. I'm talking final form like Frieza, looking smaller and absolutely shredded at middleweight. I mean, look at the before and after. It's like night and night. 185 was where Jared became a contender, even challenging Israel Adesanya for gold in 2022. And at 39 years old, broke the middleweight single fight significant strike record, 241 significant strikes, in a career best beatdown of Marvin Meathead Vettori. Jared's journey across weight classes and his rise through the UFC rankings is a testament to hard work and adaptability, proving that starting late doesn't mean you can't become great. Coming in at number 4, we have Roman Dolidze. Not a lot of people know this, but Roman actually began his athletic career as a soccer player. Dolidze was a goalkeeper in Turkey, but it wasn't until his 20s that he transitioned from kicking balls to kicking ass. While in Ukraine studying shipbuilding, Roman began training in Sambo and BJJ. Wait, don't Sambo and BJJ hate each other? That's like saying, my favorite teams are the Yankees and the Red Sox, the Eagles and the Cowboys, the Lakers and the Celtics. I love them all. Anyways, the Georgian proved to be a natural, as in a few years he became a world-class grappler, winning multiple titles including the ADCC Asia and Oceania Championship. Then after all that, at the ripe age of 28, Roman fully transitioned into MMA. After 6 fights on the regional scene, Dolidze signed with the UFC in summer of 2020, and by 2022, he was a bona fide contender in the middleweight division. Some say Roman's greatest achievement was knocking out Jack Hermanson, but I say his greatest achievement was knocking up Cheyenne Blismus. Allegedly. Anyways, Dolidze's story shows that a delayed start doesn't mean you can't find success in MMA or with women in their 20s. At number 3, we have a true combat icon, the last stylebender, Israel Adesanya. Now, this may come as a surprise now, but by all accounts, Izzy was not particularly athletic as a teenager. The future middleweight champion was actually bullied in high school. I can see that, actually. But Adesanya initially became interested in kickboxing after watching the movie Ong Bak at age 19, which has an impressive 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not bad for a martial arts movie. 85%. Which is kind of where Izzy spent most of his title reign, just cruising at 85%. I digress. But after an illustrious overseas kickboxing career, where the Nigerian amassed an amazing professional record of 75-5, Izzy finally committed in full to MMA at age 27. At 29, Izzy made his UFC debut and went on to have one of the greatest title reigns the sport has ever seen. With a flashy style, precise striking, and a unique ability to make people love him or absolutely hate him, Izzy is living proof that starting later did not slow him down on his path to international superstardom. At number 2, we have one of my favorite fighters, Francis Ngannou. Before my time's up, the one thing I truly hope for in this world is a Francis Ngannou movie. Ooh, and I got a name for it too. Ready? Predator. Original, right? But if any story in modern sports deserves to be told on the silver screen, it's Francis's. Born in Cameroon, Ngannou grew up in extreme poverty. He even got kicked out of school because his family couldn't buy him a pen and a paper. So when school was no longer an option for Francis, he entered the workforce. at age 9. Francis took a job digging sand mines making $1 a day, which is how much this YouTube channel makes right now. Let's change that. But a pivotal moment in Ngannou's life came when he saw a Mike Tyson fight playing on his neighbor's TV. And in that moment, Francis fell in love with the dream of becoming a boxing world champion. But the Predator knew he couldn't become a boxing champion in Cameroon. There's not enough resources in Beatty. So at the age of 25, he sold all of his belongings and set off for Morocco. This wasn't just a stroll up to northern Africa. Francis had to cross the Sahara in the bed of a Toyota Tacoma that was filled to the brim with other migrants. Once in Morocco, he had to camp out in a forest in Tangier so he and the others could plot a way to 1, hop a 20-foot fence, or 2, paddle a raft to a Spanish territory that happens to be on the tip of Morocco. Legend has it Francis threw up 2 African children on each shoulder, sprinted away from guards, and long jumped over... I'm just kidding, that didn't happen. Francis made it to the Spanish territory by raft, and after 2 months in a detention center there, he made his way to France, where he met his original trainer, Fernand Lopez. He then had his first pro MMA fight after 4 months of training. The plan was to go into boxing, but he could start making money quicker by doing MMA. So to sum it up, Francis started training at 26 and became the baddest man on the planet at 34. A true freak athlete in every sense of the word. Francis is widely regarded as one of the hardest punchers in the world and continues to defy the odds in 2 sports till this day. And finally, coming in at number 1 is... At number 1, we have Alex Poatan Pereira. Growing up in one of Brazil's roughest favelas, Pereira dropped out of middle school to become a bricklayer's assistant. While working with adults, Pereira would unfortunately pick up a drinking habit, but soon turned to kickboxing to help him kick drinking. Pereira was 21 at the time. Over here in the States, that's when people start drinking, not stop. But we're glad you did, Alex. After a few years of training at a gym not far from his home, Pereira quickly became one of the best kickboxers in the world. He picked up Muay Thai effortlessly. A lot like how he picked up Polyana Viana effortlessly. But Poatan's kickboxing career was highlighted by becoming a 2-weight division champion in Glory, middleweight and light heavyweight, and it was also highlighted by beating Israel Adesanya twice in a promotion called Glory of Heroes. Yes, very confusing. The premier kickboxing organization in the world is called Glory, headquartered in London, and there's a competitor called Glory of Heroes, headquartered in China. The way I remember it is Glory, knockout. Glory of Heroes, knock off. But after a Hall of Fame kickboxing career, is there a kickboxing Hall of Fame? After an amazing kickboxing career, at the advanced age of 34, Pereira set his sights on MMA. And boy, did he conquer that world as well. In just a little over 2 years, Pereira became a double champ again, this time in the UFC, knocking out his old foe Israel Adesanya to win middleweight gold and knocking out Yuri Prochazka to win light heavyweight gold. In 2025, it's without a doubt Pereira is the most popular fighter in the sport. His devastating KO power, along with his extremely down-to-earth personality online, has turned him into the surprise superstar of the decade. Better late than never. We're glad you stepped into the octagon at 34, Poatan. So there you have it. That was our list for today. I find it inspiring how these fighters prove it's never too late to chase your dreams. Whether you start at 19, 26, or even 28, dedication and hard work will always get you to the top. Which story inspired you the most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more MMA content. I'm T-Ball Paul, and as always, thanks for watching.